Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. This story is about the 2000 rupee notes. From 30th of September, you will not be allowed to use 2000 rupee notes. On Tuesday, if you're holding 2000 rupee notes, next Tuesday, you can go to any bank, either deposit the 2000 rupee notes or exchange those notes. The RBI wants to withdraw the circulation of 2000 rupee notes. However, they will be legal tender, they will be valid, and you can use them. You can exchange them in the bank, you can deposit them in the bank. That you can do till the 30th of September. What does this mean? Does this mean it looks like a demonetization? The answers are very clear. But then to understand a little more on why the RBI is doing this, we have with us Mr. R. Gandhi, former Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Who better than Mr. Gandhi to answer these questions? Mr. Gandhi, welcome to BQ Prime.
Good evening.
Mr. Gandhi, my first question is, why is the RBI doing this? It might set off a little bit of uncertainty and confusion among the public.
First of all, withdrawal of old notes is a standard practice by Reserve Bank of India. There is nothing new about it. Basically, the Reserve Bank periodically withdraws the old notes, which are either because it is very dirty or it wants to withdraw the very old notes and introduce a new series. That kind of thing always happens. This time, the only difference is that it is not going to reissue any new series of the same denomination. Yeah, that's one difference. The second difference is that there is going to be a kind of upper limit for transacting or not transacting, in the sense that redepositing with a bank. There is an upper limit at every transaction wise. So that is a difference. Otherwise, it is a withdrawal of a note. Reserve Bank has explained that it is more than 6 years since it was introduced, so it is becoming soiled, so it wants to withdraw. Those things are normal.
Okay, so those things are normal. They keep issuing a new series, like you rightly pointed out. But in this case, it's very clear that after September 30, 2000 rupee notes cannot be used, right?
That is not yet clearly mentioned in the press note. What it says that the public have been given time to redeposit these 2000 rupee notes till the 30th September. Beyond 30th September, what is the status of these notes? That is not mentioned explicitly in the press note. So people can surmise that afterwards it may not remain legal tender, or there may be another set of procedure coming later. All those things, now it is it's a conjecture. We cannot say anything about it very firmly. The point right now is that in about 4 months, people should be returning back these notes. Since the number of pieces is going to be much less, it may be possible, if everybody has taken the due care to come back to the bank, these 4 months might be sufficient for people to return back.
Right. No, very clearly 4 months is a long time. But the question is, does this do more than actually introducing clean notes and cleaning up the system? Obviously, in this case, I think we all know, quote unquote, the target could be those who have been holding cash through 2000 rupee notes. The common public is not carrying 2000 rupee notes here and there, going to shopping, and people are using UPI these days. So very clearly, RBI knows something which we in public don't know. And I'm sure you would also, being an ex-RBI Deputy Governor, you would know how RBI thinks. What is RBI thinking? That pull black money out and make sure that the notes in circulation, these kind of notes, are not used for hoarding.
There are several consequences can take place. So one of the consequences is what you mentioned. So in that process, the black money, stocking of black money can be brought down, because now that the easier way of stocking old value, that won't be available. So to that extent, it would discourage black money accumulation. That's by keeping black money. By originating black money, that's a different issue. But keeping it in stock, kind of, it can be discouraged. That is one of the consequences of this particular phenomenon. Whether that has motivated, that I cannot say anything right now, because that is not clear from the whole exercise. The explicit rationale given is that old notes we are withdrawing, we are not going to reissue. That is firmed up because it was in the conjecture all these days. Now Reserve Bank has firmly said that we are not going to reissue this denomination. And it will, as you mentioned, that it can help reduce stocking black cash.
Right. So at some stage, we need to understand a little more. The RBI did away with 1,000 rupee notes when the demonetization happened, and it was completely, it had to go out of the system. But do you think, in hindsight, introducing again a high denomination note of 2,000 rupee would have been not a sensible decision, considering that people tend to hoard?
Correct. That was admitted at that time itself. It was as a tactical decision taken because large number of value has to be created in terms of new series notes. If he waited for 500 rupee notes to be alone to be printed, it would have taken a long time. So very quickly we have to remonetize at that time. That's why the decision was taken in favor of printing 2,000 rupee notes. It was very clear that it could it is a kind of little anomaly. Then when we are withdrawing 1,000 rupee notes, we are introducing 2,000 rupee notes. So that's a kind of anomaly. Then everybody did accept that position. But at that particular point in time, to quickly remonetize, that was a solution. As a tactical measure, it was taken. It was clear, and that's why Reserve Bank has not been printing it afterwards at all. Once that reasonable amount was available, it was not printing any more 2,000 rupee notes. So that's granted. The point that you mentioned was definitely granted. It was known that it is not in the full right spirit to have introduced 2,000 rupee notes. But at that time, given the circumstances, compulsions of remonetization, it had to be done.
Yeah. So very clearly, there is no pressure of remonetization now, because we also have UPI payments, digital payments are there. The context that I'm looking at is, can RBI reintroduce 2,000 rupee notes in the form of a digital currency? Do you think that is something they would consider, or it's not worth it?
It doesn't make a big difference whether you introduce this denomination only in CBDC form. Right. So CBD has not yet taken off.
Yes.
Once CBDC has taken off, this kind of suggestion can certainly be looked into, because once that comfortability about using central bank digital currency comes in, then the denomination can be thought about what denomination it will suit the economy. And in any case, the different denomination requirements of different denomination will be periodically be reassessed by Reserve Bank, not only by Reserve Bank, every central bank in the world. So depending upon the situation, economic situation, the inflation and other developments in the payment system can lead to such decisions. So future, if it is needed, I would think that Reserve Bank would think about it, but looks like it may not necessarily be needed, because we have other digital payment system today available, like RTGS and NEFT, where very large value transfers can take place without much of a problem. Absolute confidence and security features are available. So it may not be necessarily needed high denomination notes to be available even in CBDC. Because CBDC, by definition, it is meant for, not by definition, by understanding that it should be meant for normal, ordinary, facilitating normal, ordinary transactions. So by that way, one cannot presume that you would need a high denomination to carry out normal transaction. So it may not necessarily need high denomination notes even in CBDC.
Right. So my next question is, why has the RBI given time till May 23rd? It could have asked the banks to open tomorrow, day after, and accept on Monday also. Why this 3-day window?
That is basically because there is no compulsion to rush, because it has given 4 months time, roughly 4 months time is available. Number two, if anything is starting from tomorrow, people will not be able to completely absorb the meaning of this notification. So they say 2-3 days availability, there will be debate, there will be clarifications. People can ask their friends and others in outside in the banking system. They can get better informed about the whole issue rather than quickly rushing back to bank and queuing up to return that note. So that's why I think that the Reserve Bank has thought that let there be some syncing of the gist of the information rather than pushing people straight away to rush very next day.
Yeah. Now, this is one question which keeps coming up every time when there is this kind of an action. Is the finance ministry involved in such decision making, or in this case, it's only RBI's call?
All these matters, there will be discussion with the government. So that will be there, because especially when something is done differently from earlier practice, it is in the realm of Reserve Bank to withdraw the old notes. That is typically Reserve Bank will take such decision on its own. There may not be such a big discussion with the government. When something differently has to be done, when large-scale public awareness is going to be created, when we definitely sense that like this, all media may make big thing out of this, then naturally there will be consultation and information sharing with government. That will be there. Because you have to be practical that when something differently done, when there is going to be kind of public debate and discussion, then there will be, it is good practice to have discussion with the government.
Absolutely. I think, so you refer to media, that's us. We keep asking these questions.
That's right.
So a couple of more questions before I thank you. So there is no room for much panic, but do you think the RBI, you still need some denomination which is higher than 500, I am sure. Do you think RBI will bring back the 1,000 rupee note?
Unlikely, very unlikely as of now, because the two reasons. One is that digital transactions have really taken off really well. So by the need for currency usage, of course, it is only by anecdotal position today. A proper study, if it is made, we can be found out whether today the cash is being utilized more as a store of value or for as a medium of transaction. So that part we need to really study through some surveys or anything. So Reserve Bank, if it does, that can give that clear answer to that question, whether the bank should think about issuing further denomination or not. So, but my gut feeling as of now is unlikely, because any transaction of any value today is doable 24/7 by anybody through digital means. So by absence of currency note is unlikely to be a dampener for any economic transaction. So by anybody who wants to do a transaction today can do it completely digitally.
Okay, so in the concluding remarks, you are an expert and you know how RBI thinks. Let me put 2 and 2 together like a typical journalist. I will do that. One, in just yesterday, day before yesterday, the TCS rule was changed to bring credit cards under the TCS with a 20% TCS. The stated objective of the finance ministry was that we want to track tax evaders. Now, in the bargain, it turned out that honest taxpayers were also penalized because of this one. So today evening, just before this RBI circular came, soon after RBI circular came, finance ministry issued a circular saying that the credit card TCS will now, there will be a limit of 7 lakh which they have restored. Practically, it means that they have withdrawn. So trapping tax evaders through that route may have been difficult. It's possible, it's a coincidence. It's possible that they are using this route to trap them. Am I right in my assessment, or am I going over?
I not studied what announcement the government has made today. That's why immediately I'm not able to react very quickly on that. The point is that it is tax deducted at source. I mean, sorry, tax collected at source.
Collected at source.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean that taxpayers are deprived of that. The credit for that they can always take when they file the returns. It is only a question of liquidity being taken away for short while. Right, that is why you are paying tax in advance. It amounts to paying in tax in advance, kind of. So that may be a little inconvenient for some people. That is right, but it cannot be considered as a too big burden or difficulty to manage that out. But today's this one, because I have not seen it, I'll not be able to quickly react.
No, it's been withdrawn. I was just trying to put two things together. I understand that the two are two separate.
I don't think there is connection between these two.
Connection between the two, absolutely.
Right.
Mr. Gandhi, it was really wonderful talking to you and trying to understand how RBI approaches these kind of problems and what's their thought behind. And very clearly, there is no need to panic, because this does not affect the ordinary public, common citizens who are holding small denominations. Even that they don't hold because of UPI. Those who are holding 2,000 rupees are the ones who have to worry. That is where the RBI is targeting. With that, thank you, Gandhi ji.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.